Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, June 21, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure that you're in a comfortable position with no outside distraction, relaxed into your body, still as a statue, focused on your breath, your natural breathing, rising and falling. Action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. Benjamin Disraeli. It's very true. Every action that any of us take in this life sends out an energetic vibration into this world that is heard in the form of a request or command for the universe. Now, when your body takes action, it actually shifts the molecules around you on a physical level and is directly linked to the types of things, people, and situations you manifest. Your actions sculpt your world, just like a sculptor molds clay to create a beautiful piece of art. Each time you say or do anything in this world, you are molding the energetic and physical reality around you. Now, one might say, well, then that sounds like we're wizards or magicians or something. Beyond that. Because, first of all, we carry an energetic field. Now, you can't see it with these eyes that we have with these bodies. You will be able to in the near future. But right now, you can't see it. And see it, most people don't see it. They just say, well, okay, fine, yeah, sure it exists, right? But all of us emit an energetic field. It is a light frequency field. It's like if you get upset, that frequency color that's emitting from you changes, okay? If you have a voracious appetite to learn, your colors change. In other words, if you're in a learning mode, your colors are more orange, okay? If you're in a highly spiritual mode, your colors are like a real deep violet purple. Okay? This is how we emit our energies and frequencies. So you could say, right, that in a certain light spectrum, we all glow on this planet. That's not being facetious. That is a fact. We glow. All of us do. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you could, you're viewing someone, right, and you have the ability to see their auric field, their energetic light frequencies, you would be able to know. No, they're getting upset, okay. Oh, they're at peace, or, they're at ease. It's not reading minds at all. It has nothing to do with that. It's just reading the energetic field of each one of us, knowing, okay? Knowing your own energetic field. And as we move in this world, in these bodies, we direct points of light energy. And this is where the manifestation comes in. If you act upon something, let's say you're going to move something, you're sitting there and saying, maybe I should move that. No, I'll wait. I'm not going to move it. And it just sits there. Finally you say, I'm going to move this thing, whatever it may be. So you move it, and you have this point, this light energy, this frequency. The molecules surrounding you and that item shift almost instantaneously because you're changing the molecular structure of that area by moving something that's been there a while. And it's the same with everything. It's like, let's say that you have some illnesses with your body. And you say to yourself, and most people worry, stress, and fear about these anomalies with their bodies. Cancer could be all kinds of stuff. We have so many. but different anomalies that are affecting our bodies that allopathic would want to do surgery or injections or treatments or whatever. And when we're focused on that, we actually implement it. We instigate it more. And someone says, well, I've got cancer. I didn't say anything or do anything about it. It just came in. All diseases, all of them, are predicated on what? They're predicated on us, the beings that we are, year after year after year after year, in most cases, we carry stress. Even children carry stress. They don't know they do. You imagine you're around a bunch of adults that are all carrying stress. You cannot help but to be affected by it. And, when you have parents that worry about their children when they're being born, if they're going to have cancer, they're going to have this, they're going to have that, it's dangerous because we're so powerful of beings. It's really dangerous. And see, we don't know that. We don't have the how do you take responsibility for being so powerful when you don't know you're so powerful? See the dilemma there? How can you? But when you focus in the opposite direction with no doubt, no fear, no worry, no stress, 100% faith, 100% trust, 100% confidence in yourself and this universe, you shift the molecular structure of anything and anyone around you. That's it. Okay? Now, if you get up, some morning, say it's a weekend, it's Saturday morning, and you stub your toe. Now, you've walked that way several times before. You never stubbed your toe, but you stubbed your toe. Hurt like crap. It just hurt really bad. And so it shifted your perspective and attitude with yourself, with your surroundings. So instead of your day being light and enjoyable, it's heavy and disarray. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be real light, but it's there. Now, when you know that that's happening, you're clear, you're aware, say, okay, that's fine. I'm going to shift over here and focus on the now and be deeply grateful for this very moment I'm in. That will completely change the molecular structure around you. Completely. See, now most of us don't know that. What we do is we engage and then we kind of lift it away and then we engage, but we're not aware that we're the ones that are creating all of it. We create it all. We create it all for ourselves. We affect others depending on how we feel about ourselves. That's how it happens. This is for every one of us. And since so many are ignorant to the fact that they are supremely powerful beings that never die, they just go about creating things and havoc for themselves, and they aren't aware that they're the ones that are doing it. In fact, they'll look at you and think you're kind of crazy, that you're saying, when you really focus on this, you begin to comprehend the fact that you're doing it. So you're not doing it on purpose. And you're not doing it knowingly. You're doing it unconsciously. You can see that this path that all of us are on, you can't leave the path. You're going to be on it. You might have your little idiosyncrasies in your life that you're challenged with that no one else seems to have that. But we're still on the same path. And what is that path? It's discovering who and what we are. And along the way, that covers everything. Covers the ego mind, covers our thoughts, knowing how supremely powerful beings we truly are in these bodies. This is the great evolutionary trek for this species, this civilization at this time, in this quadrant of the galaxy, on the outer rim. This is what this planet is now fully immersed in. Complete evolution for the species into a much higher spiritual existence. It's not about war, conflict, hatred. It's not about any of that stuff. Because you know why it isn't? You will end up mastering your ego mind. You will not have hatred, fear, and aggressiveness. It won't register. See? You will not have enemies. You will not be in fear of your well-being. None of that will exist. You gravitate over. You knowingly gravitate over. You don't do it unconsciously. You're doing it because you're drawn to that evolutionary step, that jump. You're drawn to it. Many of us on this planet are. You know, it's like a pull. And all of those that are either waking up or somewhat aware or aware begin to gravitate towards that pull. Some know that this is about them evolving. Their attitudes, their perspectives, their feelings, everything. It is about them evolving. It's about each and every one of us evolving. See, we focus, what we will end up doing is we'll always be in a focus pattern on what we desire or want. And since we are fully immersed in heart-mindedness, it won't be a lot, see? A lot of the things won't be there, see? We won't, it's not something that motivates us to want to have. We're mostly motivated into helping each other so that everyone on this planet is in a state of bliss. Now see, there's a lot of people that say, well, that's just absolutely nonsense. Right. The whole, billions of us in a state of bliss. Sure, okay, yeah. You're dreaming. But isn't it, see, the ego mind pulls that and doesn't care to visit it. Because we're in bliss 24/7. The ego mind doesn't exist. It'll have a taste of it before it finally realizes that it's found peace and it doesn't need to be around anymore. And it's an illusion anyway. But to be in bliss is our natural state of being. Period. It isn't our unnatural state of being. Our unnatural state of being is being angry, upset, irritated, frustrated, distressed with ourselves first. And then, of course, it affects all the molecules around us. So it depends on your frame of mind, how you feel in the morning, how you feel during the course of your day, how you feel at night. It's all about you. You're the orchestrator. You want to be in a nasty mood, you get around a bunch of people and you're in a nasty mood, you'd be surprised how many of those people will get in a nasty mood or leave. You're in a light mood because you've decided to be. There's no catalyst. You just decide to be. That you're going to be happy today. There's no reason not to be. You're alive. You have all your faculties. You're happy. Then what happens to the people you come in contact with? They want to be around that. They start to become happy if they aren't already. See, I'm telling you, it's the formula of exactness. It is divine perfection. This is what we are. And we begin to understand the molecular structure of things. We begin to understand the firmament as far as, I'm not talking about the dome or the so-called flat earth philosophy. But what I am talking about is the structure, the framework of plants, animals, trees, all of it. The ocean, the whole, we created that. We created it all, collectively. Now, it's not like, oh yeah, I know, I remember creating those trees out there. No, we collectively, pure consciousness, cosmic awareness, created all of it. We created all of the planets, we created all of the stars, which are suns. We created all the life forms on all the planets. And it's too huge for the mind to comprehend. The heart mind wills some of it, but even then it's too much for it. But this is what we do. And from time to time, we incarnate in the physical material form to experience, so that we can have more divine perfection. So that when we create other planetary systems, what happens? We have more experience. Excuse me. We have more experience. And the more experience that we pick up, everyone shares it. It's not like compartmentalized. All of us have the ability to tap into all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Every one of us have that ability. It's dormant because we haven't discovered who and what we really truly are. Okay? We don't know that. Some of us kind of play with it a little bit. It's still massive. Okay? It's still very massive for us to really, for the mind even to come close. It's too small. But this is what we truly are. We create our lives. We create our future while we're in physical material form. Where we look, we create. You focus on any space or any place, you're going to create particles that will appear. And the more you focus, the more particles will appear. And eventually something will materialize. Why do you, okay, some have asked the question, why is it that it seems like, okay, here we are on this little blue marble on the outer rim of it, because we're on the outer rim of the Milky Way galaxy. We're on the farthest rim out. There's the only thing left is one, I call them cloud smoke, that's like a purplish color, massive. You can't fly through it. You have to fly over it. Okay? And anything that tries to fly through it will be destroyed. So it's like a rim, a barrier. Each spiral of this cloud smoke is a rim. It's a barrier. So here we are on this little planet, and we've created this planet specifically for us to experience on it. Now it's busy. It's a busy planet. There's a lot going on all the time on it. There's war, there's conflict, there's hate, there's all kinds of stuff. There is also deep eternal love. And it takes a lot for us to come into these bodies to experience the life on this planet. And when you look at this life on the planet, you're not going to get any more depth of experience than on this planet. I mean, there is so much that's on this planet. It's unreal, even in it. And we experience that. We immerse ourselves in it. And on top of it, we have no memory while we're doing it of past lives. That is off the charts that we would do that. Why is it that we do that? Knowing what you know without having your memory wiped, would you, okay, you ask yourself this question, would you come back into a physical body? Knowing, without having your memory wiped, and knowing everything that you've experienced on this planet for, 50, 100, whatever years, you ask you, would you do that? Well, if you do it, your divine perfection will ramp up a notch. It's all about experience. Okay? And what's suffering and pain? Experience. What's happiness and joy? Experience. What's disappointment? Experience. What's creativity? Experience. So I think we do one heck of a job in the universe, all of us collectively in all species, in all areas of existence and beyond, on how we create things so that we can enjoy them. Okay? Now we also create things that aren't really enjoyable. Okay? But I believe that most of what we create is phenomenal. There's no other word for it. It's magna glorious. And we create these things because we want to. We're always creating. Why do you think we have universes that are liquid? So the whole universe is liquid. Not like water, okay? But it's like a liquid energy. And you flow through it. There's other universes that are just complete gas. Gas universes. I'm not talking about gases that explode or anything. There's other universes that are, like I said, are reversed. And other, your negatives. The old negatives. We used to take pictures, and then you'd go into put them in a chemical bath, and then the pictures would show up, and you'd have the negatives. So you look at the negatives, and it was always the figures were white, right, and the background was black. It was reverse field. And so there are universes that are reverse field. See, not all universes. This is a highly complex, holographic generated universe, right? But there's other universes that are a lot different than this one. Species, life forms, totally different. But that's what's so fascinating. Do you really believe that we're ever going to run out of creating? No, not throughout eternity and beyond. No way. Are we genuinely happy that we are the gods in these bodies? I believe so. I believe that the more and more are discovering it in their own way. Could be something that's traumatic. Something traumatic happens in their lives, and a light goes on, or just wake up one morning and everything seems a lot different. And all this is recognizing the fact that none of us are separate from any one of ourselves. We're not. We're not separate. It appears that way. And so what does that breed? Loneliness. Okay. Being alone and loneliness and depression and all this stuff. When we have so much around us constantly in this soup of energetic expanse, there's no way you should feel that. That is ego mind. To ever feel alone. Because you can't be alone. You can't. It's not designed or structured that way. Yes, we're in highly emotional bodies, and sometimes we all get we kind of fly off, way off in different directions, but we come back. We're reflections of each other. So just imagine this. It doesn't, like you, okay? You're out and about, and someone crosses your path, comes into your life. Could be for 10 seconds, could be for an hour, could be for a lifetime. You just don't know. But what is that for? It's the universe sending in a message. They're not going to come up and give you a letter and say, here, this is from the universe. But they'll come in and they'll do or say or interact with you in certain ways that may refresh you, awaken you in some areas. And these are the people that you'll talk with. You've never known them before, but you'll talk with them, and you want to talk with them for hours. Have you ever done that? You've met people and you don't know them. You've never met them before. And you start talking, and it's like, why do they feel so familiar? I've never met this being in my entire life. Because they're part of you. That's why the familiarity is there. Now, others that come into our lives are challenging because they show us parts of ourselves that we don't care to visit. And this is why we get so disrupted around those types of beings. We get disrupted, we get irritated, we get frustrated. We feel they're abrasive, we feel that they're invading our space, or however you want to term it. And we usually would like to get out of there and not interface with them. But they're the best teachers that we'll ever come across. Not the ones where you feel fluffy and nice all the time. The ones where you are really challenged. They're the real big-time teachers. It's like you're in a relationship. You purposely went into a relationship with someone that doesn't like the same things you do. Oh, goodness, crazy, what? Any similar habits that you do, eats things that you can't stand. What's that all about? So that you'll branch out, so that you'll reach outside of yourself, so that you'll expand. Okay? This is what's so phenomenal about our lives on this planet, in these bodies. We're constantly, not that we're, 100% completely clear, but what we are is we're expanding. We're progressing. People say, well, how do you see we're progressing? Look at the planet. Look at all the stuff happening on it. Yeah, that's one heck of a cleaning, isn't it? A cleansing process. That's what we're witnessing. And more of us are focused on what we want, not what we don't want. We don't go there. We know what that is. We've been there so many times. We're masters at focusing on what we don't want. We really are. All of us are truly masters at focusing on what we do not want. So a lot of us are starting to gravitate on our own volition to say, I'm going to focus on things that I want. I spent lifetimes focusing on things I did not want. I got them. I experienced them. I'm deeply grateful for them. But now I'm going to focus on things I want. It's that simple. It isn't complicated. It is just, and how can you have a reference? You say, I've had habits that are really tough to break. Right? You ever had a habit? You know what that means. It's really tough to break. You say to yourself, oh, you got the conviction, right? And you say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take care of it. I'm not going to do this anymore. Right? And so for a little bit, you don't do it, and then you start doing it again. Then you get frustrated with yourself, and then you come down on yourself, which is a no-no. And you say, I'm just going to one step at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you just slowly but surely gravitate into focusing on what you want, not what you don't want. And that's it. That's how it works. Yeah, at first it may feel not too comfortable. Okay? It may feel like, oh, God, I don't really care to do this. It's so much easier to go over here. And it is, because you're so used to focusing on what you don't want. So you go over here, and after a while, it becomes natural for you. It's part of you, which is true. It's your natural state of being. The other one wasn't, even though it felt comfortable. It wasn't your natural state of being. So then you start focusing on things you want, without attachment, without expectation. You just focus on, this is what I want, and you don't do half-ass. Do it in detail. Cover as many things as you can. Okay? Because if you do it sloppy, you're going to get something sloppy in return. Might be better than what you thought, but it's still going to be sloppy in return. The universe knows much more than we do about ourselves. Believe me, it does. So this is a process that we're all experiencing. Every one of us at different degrees and different comprehensions, and this is what we're doing. We're gravitating towards a benevolent civilization that is extremely powerful and is totally aware of that power. Living and existing in a heart-mindedness, which is deep eternal love, happiness, bliss, joy, tranquility, peace, benevolence. And see, in this society, on this planet, when you say that, that is identified as weak and, weak, not powerful, easy to take over. And it's actually the opposite. Because we have literally mastered all the things that we have experienced and learned through lifetimes, and what that's about. And we've also discovered just exactly who and what we are. This is why a lot of species come to this planet and with us, because they don't care to have us fully aware. You really want to know why so many have visited this planet, messed us up, genetically modified us, shrunk us, squeezed our age factors to almost ridiculous low amount? Because they did not care to have us find out or become aware of who and what we are. We're very supremely powerful beings. You don't need to hybridize us either, but that's gone on for quite some time. What does that mean? Well, Homo sapiens, human hybrids. They're all over the place. You just don't notice it. They just blend in. They look a little different, but they're human. But they're hybrids. What is a hybrid? It's a genetically modified human. That's what it is. Okay? It's human. Okay? But in many different ways, it's not like us. Higher forehead, eye color, ears, hair. You'll notice them. You've seen them, but you really haven't. You've been busy with other things, and so you just come across them. Okay? And you go, well, they're different looking, and that's about it. That's about how much attention we put on it. We're not concerned about it at all. We're more concerned about how we're going to survive this life. That's what most of us are concerned about in different ways. But this is, it's a spectacular feeling. I've had more and more people say that when they wake up in the morning, they just feel good. They feel good. They don't feel down. They don't feel depressed. They don't feel physically compromised. They just feel good. And they haven't really done anything different, And they feel good throughout the day. And what is that? Well, that's the God that we are coming through. And more of us will start feeling that way. And we still have our little dips, But I believe that we will be much more readily prepared to move ourselves out of it quickly. That we won't care to be there. And it is true. In the quiet time of this meditation, you might want to contemplate the fact that we are discovering many things about ourselves that is our true natural state of being. When we never believed or thought from the information we've been given since we've been in these bodies, any of it, much at all. But we're coming full circle and embracing it. And the neat thing is, it's not in some big class, right? It's an awakening within us that we're starting to identify that we're not this body, we're not this life, we're not anything dealing with this life. It is a temporary experience. It's very short, doesn't last long, and then we move on, we leave. But we don't die. See, there's a lot of people that when they believe that when they die, that's it. They're done. The whole shebang is gone. They no longer exist. And it's actually the opposite. Okay? We never die. None of us die. We leave the body. That's why I believe that death is a macabre creation by lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. Leaving the body is more true because we're not the body, so we're leaving the body. When you use the word death or die, people get the impression throughout the ages is that that's it, you're over. And they have for a long time. Some believe in afterlife, so they put belongings and everything in there because they believe that that empty carcass is taking all that with it. And that's silly because there's no material possession in the heaven. And we are the heaven. There's no material possession. It doesn't exist. Owning and having and wanting and getting. That's material, physical world. Okay? So how do we exist as these balls of light? We exist however we choose. We experience however we choose to experience. We create however we choose to create. That's total freedom. Not this make-believe stuff on this planet where people believe they're free when all along they've been enslaved. And that's changing too. See, this isn't a brief awakening. This is a permanent, highly accelerated spiritual evolution for this civilization, this species. It's in other words, there's no go back. There's no dropping down. This is full steam ahead. And as we do this, we start to shift into fifth density, 5 dimension, where we're at home. And the God that we are, we're at home. And in the 5th dimension, it's pretty natural. It actually is a natural state of being for these bodies. We were not meant to be in 3D. Okay? We just got a bunch of gods got curious, and we went lower than we would normally go to see how challenging it would be. And we found out it's pretty darn challenging. But like I said, we have 5 fingers and 5 toes. We are 5th dimensional beings. These bodies. So one might say, well, how the heck can we survive in a 3rd dimensional in a 5D body? That's not difficult. The difficult part is trying to go into a dimension that's higher than the dimension that you've been arranged with, so to speak. That's when it gets real hairy. The body will not continue. So our higher frequencies continue to increase. They will for the next several thousand years. And we'll get to a stage where we will move out of 5D into 6D, into 7D, into 8D, into 9D, into 10D, and so on and so forth. The journey never ends, okay? And once you realize that, embrace it, you have a whole different perspective. Join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into your body. Patience and courage are key elements to meditating, and they're also a byproduct of meditation. Today is your day to become a meditation master. You have been sitting for 48 hours every day and still can't stay focused for more than 5 seconds. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Breathe. Practice compassion with yourself today by having patience with you. Let go of any need to get it perfect, and yet keep bringing your mind back to this moment. The more you can discipline your mind, the easier your life will become. Discipline leads to freedom, and this is your opportunity to be radically and outrageously free. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, following morning. We will return here Sunday, June 22, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And here we are at this, the summer solstice. Days will begin to incrementally get shorter from this day forward. Year's half over. Time, the speed, the elements, everything. This is why we savor every moment. This is why we stay in the now. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.